Hi, I'm Scott Fox. Today we're going to talk about livetraders.com. This is the website of a Masterminds forum member named Anmol. I'm going to try to give him some tips and ideas about how to improve the website to increase his conversions and sales. If this kind of thing is interesting to you, visit expertwebsitereviews.com, www.expertwebsitereviews.com, and I'll do a website review video for you like this one, or come and join us in the Masterminds forum, www.mastermindsforum.com. There you'll meet me and readers of my books from all over the world, and we can help you improve your website too. Okay, Emma, well, thanks for sharing your website with us. I have to say, this is one of the better looking websites I've reviewed in quite a while, actually. Quite often, the websites that are submitted for these are very early stage and not built out yet. So yours looks really nice. You've got the graphics, consistent color scheme, rotators going on with lots of nice photography. The whole thing hangs together pretty nicely. So what can we do to improve it? Well, that's the question, right? Now, I know you've had some discussions already in the forum, some feedback from some of our other members about some changes, and I agreed with most of those suggestions. In particular, just off the top of my head, I remember that for the testimonials, for example, here, it'd be nice if this rotated. You've got this John Cameron, and they do rotate if you click on them, but they don't do that automatically. So when you flip from page to page, I keep seeing this one guy, and it seems like he's your only testimonial, and presumably you have more than one, right? And in fact, you do. They're just kind of hidden. So that's a fairly easy fix as far as technology goes. There was also a lot of discussion about the overall look and feel of the site, and I agree with some of it, but not all of it. Your target demographic is pretty clear, as you suggested to me in the forum you submitted, but also what you told me was what you said in the forum there was that it was targeting 30 to 40-year-old males who are interested in trading, and I think it does a pretty good job of that, despite some of the comments in the forum. This is targeted with a look and the luxury appeal and so forth, that you're doing that deliberately, and I understand that. So I'm cool with that, although at least one of our other members wasn't that excited about it, but I don't think she fits that demographic, right? Okay, so let's talk about other stuff. How can we improve this? So at first glance, I was pretty impressed, and I am impressed. I don't mean to sound like I'm not. I think it's a very nice looking site. You've got some very professional, credible looking graphics and design here. So what could we do better? Well, as I dug into it a little bit, I started to see some problems, and this might be what you're sensing or what you're asking about. And this goes back to some of the things that were raised in the forum, but I think might be even deeper than you realize. It's pretty confusing, actually, what you're offering. There was a suggestion that you need a clearer call to action, and I 100% endorse that, because there are several different paths here, and I think you actually might want to tighten up your demographic even more tightly, because you're serving so many different masters here that it ends up being confusing. So let me run through it for you for a second here. So first at the top, you've got this hello bar, which is a handy tool. I use those myself. Great. So you're offering to discover the truth about trading with a free ebook. Okay. That presumes people are already interested in trading, which may or may not be true, but I point that out because it contrasts with the way you present things later, okay? So here's a free ebook offer. If that's your only offer, fine. The problem is you've got a bunch more. There's a phone number here. I'm not sure why we would call you. That's not a bad thing, but it's a little distracting. But then this big slider in the middle, okay, I will learn to become a profitable trader in 30 days. Okay, so I'm new and I want to learn to become profitable. That's good. Okay, now here's another thing. Take this challenge to figure out what kind of trader I am. Well, that presumes I'm already a trader, and I'm curious about your opinion about me or something. And then here's another one, how average traders become experts. Also an interesting offer, but that presumes that somebody has some experience trading already, and they want to get better. All of those are valid offers, but the way they cycle through here so quickly, I could hardly even read them to you before it changed, and it didn't give me much time to figure out which one I was. So a big question that underlies all of this is, how are you driving traffic to this site? If you're driving it, for example, with pay-per-click ads, you are ideally targeting one of those three approaches, not all three, plus the ebook, plus some of these other things down here. Or if you're targeting it with guest article posting or podcast interviews or YouTube videos, trying to hit both beginners and advanced At the same time, it's just confusing, right? So I think you'd probably improve your conversions if you redesign this a little bit to simply split this into 2 or 3 paths, sort of categories, right? Or just pick one, whichever of these is your favorite or makes the most money. Do just that and split the other one off into another site, or just kill it. You don't need to do all these things, I don't think. And that might be hurting your conversions, because if I come in here, I'm not sure what I'm looking at, and then you point me this way, and then you point me that way, and then there's another one, and there's this thing up here, and let's just to drive the point home, well, there's a phone number here, as I mentioned, but there's also trading is growing rapidly. Okay, but none of this is clickable. Okay, so that's good. I'll make over $3,000. Okay, some good copywriting, but it's kind of all over the place. So now here, the difference between profits and losses is you, how comfortable you get with trust live traders to do what, right? You haven't defined your offer. And then you're going to get started. Well, I'm not sure. What am I getting started with? I'm going to start trading. Is this going to cost me money? Of course it isn't. But if you're ignorant, get started. Well, I'm not ready to get started. How about learn more? But even then, I'm not sure what I'm learning more about. So, so let's finish this. Okay, so trading psychology. So these are pretty, but they don't do anything. They take up a lot of space on your homepage. If this is part of the benefits that you're getting, I think you need to say that. You need to kind of explain it. But honestly, I'm not sure that these 3 sections add anything to your sale, because then you get down to testimonials are always good, already discussed. This is kind of a big one. It's just a lot of words, in terms of reading and space on the page. Maybe a shorter one would be more attractive. I would also really see if you could figure out, do you want your target customer to identify with this young guy who's showing here? Or this kind of guy, or then this much older looking guy, right? So you've got a different sort of appeal, and they don't all have to be the same, but you kind of figure out who your ideal customer is, I think, and try to hit that a little harder. Okay, then and then I just noticed something else. So these guys are mostly, well, Dalara, Caran, de Cabrita. These sound like guys who might be from South America, or they have Latin sort of names, or Indian. And then there's John Cameron. But I don't know, you might want to even figure out the psychographics. Are these mostly white guys, or African American guys, or Chinese women? Or, if you can narrow it down a little more and hit that more precisely here with the pictures and the names, that might be helpful also. Now here was where it gets interesting. Here you are doing kind of the 3 ways to go, but these are 3 different ways. There's foreign exchange, and this is the first time on the page I think you've mentioned foreign exchange, stocks, and then options. Well, are they foreign exchange options or stock options? That was one thing I thought about immediately. I mean, as you know, there's all kinds of options. So what kind of options are you talking about? I would want to know if I were going to click on this. But you've got this 3-pronged approach here, 1, 2, 3, but these are not the same 3 that were suggested as paths up here in the slider, right? This has become a profitable trader. What kind of trader are you? And the other one, what makes experts profitable, or something, right? And then these are 3 different options down here, more in terms of what you're actually trading, foreign exchange, stocks, or options. So you've got this sort of matrix of all these different offers, and I think it's too much. I think it would help you a lot to narrow it down. Maybe you start with something like this. Obviously, this isn't as pretty as all the fancy jets and cars you have up top, but having this sort of 1, 2, 3 approach could help you target your customer, so that I could arrive and say, oh, I want that one, or I don't fit this one, I must, you know what I mean. It's like you have clear options. I think it also would help a lot at the top. You don't really have sort of a mission statement or an explanation of what you do. It would be nice if you could put it right here in the top as a slogan or something, live traders, and then a slogan. We're the #1 online training for new stock traders, or something, or for we are the best, we offer the best online courses and live trading rooms for advanced foreign exchange options traders. Things like, so it's like, oh, that's what they do, and it orients you, and then it puts all the rest of this stuff in context as the person scrolls down the page. Right now it's a little over here, it all looks pretty. Like I said, at first glance, I was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But then when I tried to figure out what you actually want me to do, it isn't very clear at all. And that's the punchline, I think, right there. What do you want the arriving visitor to do? Like, what's the action? Do you want me to find out about how average traders become experts? Then hit that harder. Do you want me to learn why trading is growing so rapidly worldwide? I'm not sure that's necessarily true, but you mean trading as a lifestyle, as a business? Um, this you could just clean this up and figure out what you're selling and try to sell that directly. So we're really talking about copywriting, I think, and eliminating a bunch of this to focus on 2 or 3 at most, maybe only one conversion path. So if this ebook is what you want to give people, then drive everybody towards the ebook, because the ebook, whatever it is behind the curtain, is going to lead them into your sales ladder, right? Whatever it is you're actually selling higher and higher up the engagement ladder. So this, again, looking nice, but it's only one of many offers here. If I come over here, then what's this? This is, okay, so this is the ebook again. Let's see. Yeah, and then you've got the 3-box thing again, which I like a lot. But it's you just got a little too much. Oh, and then there's 3 more down here. Right, there's this mentorship and stuff. So I think you need to simplify. I would start with a blank piece of paper and figure out what your primary offer is. Well, start with who your customer is, and then your primary, secondary, and tertiary offers, and work backwards from that. There should be 1 or 2, at most 3 paths. And they may all converge, they may all come down to the 3 and then converge back to the ebook. That's fine too. But you got to kind of figure out what your funnel is so you're driving people in a consistent way, because that's what leads to conversion. With a site like this, otherwise, what people are going to do is what I've been doing, clicking around, trying to figure out what I'm most interested in. And after a minute or 2 or 5, I've kind of exhausted. I spent enough time on this site. I got something else I got to do, and they're gone. Right? You got to make it easier and faster for them to get in. And send you money, right? Honestly, it's hard for me to send you money here. It's not clear what you're selling unless you really dig around. So let's hit a couple more pages. So trader education we did. Okay, so this live trading room, I thought that was interesting. Here it comes. Okay, so you actually trade online live with your students, which is pretty cool. Now, you see here, you use the word student. I didn't see that much on the homepage at all. If you are a school and if you are teaching, you need to say that, right? There's the word education right here. Oops. There's the word education there at the top, but nowhere else does it, at least did I, okay, here it comes. Did I see the idea that, okay, there's the word student, but it doesn't really anywhere say, we are a training academy. You have a unique process. Okay, here's, I would understand it, but are you going to teach me? Like, let's make that point. Discover a better way to trade. You're kind of hiding the ball a little. I think you need to say, we are a training academy. We will teach you to make more money in these 3 ways. Boom, boom, boom. Sign up for our classes here, right? Call to action, clear offer, and that will increase conversions. Okay, so the trading room is cool. I like the idea that you're doing that in real time. The Our Story is fun. You really hit these. You really hit the lifestyle photos heavy, and I've noticed this in your Google Plus and other places where I've seen your stuff. That's fine if that's the angle you're playing, but you hit it so hard. It's all cars, all jets, all the time, and I don't know that that's the whole lifestyle. It's up to you how you want to market, but it struck me hard. Obviously, it struck some people in the forum hard too. How about a little variety? How about, I don't know, some screenshots of bank balances or some substantive commentary would really be nice. We like Apple stock this week because of that. Or, I don't know, just something that's not all cars and jets. We could talk about it more on the forum as we can all of these points, but it's a little tiring to see this, and honestly, it's hard to believe. I don't know you guys that well, but you actually have Lamborghinis and Audis and these jets, and you're in the jet all the time. I mean, it's a little overwhelming. Drinking Dom Perignon all the time, right? I mean, nobody really lives that way, and I think it hurts your credibility, honestly. So you might consider being a little more realistic and showing that these things are what you can earn, but you're not a rap star, right? And if that's the way you want to portray yourself, that's your call. But I'd suggest a little more authenticity might be helpful. Now here's another offer that popped up. New to trading. Here's a 60-minute webinar. Okay, another good offer, but how does this compare with the other offers, right? The 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 other offers I've already seen. It's confusing to me to know where to go. Let's see, what else? I think you could probably make the disclaimers a little smaller. These kind of pop out a little too a little too boldly. Of course, there's good legal reasons to do that, and you want to be ethical also. But they do kind of pop rather loudly. That's not legal advice. Let's see, the blog. Let's take a look at the blog. Okay, so this is good stuff. Learn from our mistakes. I like that. Profit from our successes. I think you've got an interesting angle here in the sense that you can play along with people, right? You can make trading into a team sport, and I think that's an interesting angle, especially with your live trading room, that you guys can do this together. I think that's a real appealing thing, and I don't see you. I don't know. I don't see you talking that up too much. Like, we're actually there with you personally. If that's what you're offering, that's what it implies. But if you're actually doing this together, there's a lot of language like step by step, hold your hand, personalized, custom. We're really there together. This feeling of, I'm going to hold your hand. We can learn together, buddy. That kind of thing I think would be appealing again, especially if you're targeting people who are new and nervous about their trading strategy. Okay, so now here you're a little more clear, right? You've got the trading room, and I'm not a forex trader yet. I need a trial, please, right? I'm not a stock trader yet. I need a trial, please. That's a little better. I think this kind of approach might benefit you on the homepage as well. Swing trades, that's a whole other thing, right? And you've suddenly introduced that here without any explanation. So if you're marketing to swing traders, then that should be more prominent. If you're not, I'd get it out of there because a lot of people aren't going to even know what it is, right? So it's distracting. Okay, and if it's important somewhere in between, maybe you give it its own page in the navigation. Forex trading, stock market, equity trading, swing trades, however you want to split it up, but you make it clear what the different services are you offer right here in the header. Okay, so that's kind of what I've got. It would be interesting to hear from you in the forum about how you're marketing this, because the funnel that you're developing really affects conversions, obviously, right? So if you are driving people in, what their expectations are is critical to conversion. So if they are coming expecting, a rap star lifestyle, jets and high performance cars and champagne, that's different than if you're trying to convince people who are already day trading and know a lot about foreign equity options, for example, right? And they're just going for incremental trades, not for one big killing. That's kind of a different slant, right? So how you're bringing people into the site, I think, is important. So if and when you'd like, come into the forum. We can talk about any and all of these points and explore that together. And if that's helpful, I hope you will let me know. And we'll see you in the forum one way or the other real soon, I hope. And if you're watching this later over on YouTube, go check out livetraders.com, because obviously Anmol and his partner Jared look like they know what they're doing, and they'd be happy to help you with your online trading education. And I'm Scott Fox from expertwebsitereviews.com and the Masterminds Forum at mastermindsforum.com. Come on over and we'll help you out just like this if you'd like. Thanks for watching.